So you did see the way this hook is not really a hook, I call this more like a spiral, was twisting. It was just twisting the dough, and this twist, that rotation, and you will see there is kind of a line that develops. It's just twisting the dough. That twist is actually stretching the dough and stretching those molecules. That is what's causing this kneading. Now there are a few tricky things about it. It depends first and foremost also on the shape of this hook, but also on the wetness, if you are dryness of the dough. A dry dough will not be able to twist like this. A wet dough will twist much easier. However, if it's too wet, it will also, the bottom of the dough will stick on the bowl. So if it sticks on the bowl, it cannot twist it all together. It will twist only center place, center spot here, but the rest of the dough is just too stuck on the bowl. So it's not really twisting entirely the entire dough. So it's really a balance point where the entire dough, including the sides and the bottom, it's all twisted together, and that you get the best kneading. The second part is the hook. We call this the hook for some reason. It's not exactly a hook. I'm not sure if I can show you properly, but this is, let's say, a modern hook, and this model here, it's better than the hooks that have a C shape. But at the same time, a model like this spiral requires a powerful mixer, stand mixer. You cannot do this kind of twisting. This is, look at the size, this is, I know better in kilos, it's 1.5 flour kilos, so about, I would say, 3 something pounds of flour, and 700 milliliter of liquid. So it's liquid, a bit of milk and water. That gives you the amount here. I'm not sure what's the full amount. It's going to be around 2.2 kilos, so around, I would say, 4.5 to 5 pounds. So this is a real, it's a Cuisinart, an old mixer, a real, I think, I'm not sure about my memory is good, but I think it's 800 watts, and it's real 800 watts, not the Chinese one which advertised for 1000 watts, and you get perhaps at best 150 or 200. So anyway, all this to say that it takes a powerful mixer to mix a dough this way, to twist it, and you cannot, depends on the size of the dough, depends on the dryness or wetness on the dough. A wetter dough, it's easier to knead. A dry one, it's very hard for the machine, and even this 800 machine, I hear it complaining if the dough is more dry. This one is not too bad. So this is the end of the kneading. It's not too bad. Like I said, it's not too dry, not too wet, but it takes a machine. You cannot probably do this on this size of dough with a machine that has 250 watts, like they're like the common brands that you buy for not too much, maybe $100 or so. 250 watts is not enough for this. The machine will perhaps work for a while, I don't know, but you will just force the machine a lot. Also, this hook here, although it's much better than the C ones, which don't really twist the dough if you just watch a video or do it itself, there was actually another type of spiral hook on older stand mixers from the 70s, 80s, 60s. And it did look a little bit like this, except that the tip here was lifted somehow. And I haven't tried that one, the older model of the spiral hook, but I think the lifted tip one, it's grabbing better the dough because of the lifted end. It has to kind of stick inside the dough and catch the dough in order to twist it properly. What you did see at the very start of this video yes, it did twist it, but it didn't really fully catch, because the dough doesn't stick to the to this hook. The hook has some sort of anti-slippery material, which I don't like, because I'd like to grab the dough from the center and then really twist it. Since this is kind of a non-stick surface, it doesn't really do that well. It could do it much better if the dough would stick on the surface. Again, a wetter dough will stick more on the hook. A dry dough will not stick at all on the hook. But again, the older hooks with the reversed, like flipped upwards end tip here, I think it's grabbing better the dough. Now, for the time for twisting, for time for kneading the dough, I would say it depends very much on the temperature of the dough. And I prefer, for instance, working maybe at 23 degrees Celsius, up to you to convert that Fahrenheit on internet. But I would say that what I like to do is first mix the dough. I'll give you a tip about mixing the dough, and then I will let it rest. I just cover with a plastic. I let it rest maybe 1 hour, come back, and then the dough is going to be much softer, much easier to knead. At that moment, I'm going to knead it for about, I would say, 5 minutes with this machine. And then either, if I feel comfortable, it's really nice, soft, twisted perfectly, either that's it, or I would cover it again with a plastic, let sit for another hour, 1 hour, and then I'll do another 5 minutes of kneading. So that's about the kneading part. I think I wanted to add something which I just went off my mind. I don't recall exactly, but these are my tips for kneading dough. And keep in mind the room temperature. It's very important in this situation. It's something that you need to just consider. The warmer the room, the softer and wetter the dough will get. I wanted to say about mixing the dough. So when you put the flour, the liquid, anything else in there, these hooks or spirals, no matter the shape, these are not designed or optimized for mixing the water and flour, the liquid and flour. It just doesn't have a shape that mixes well the water and flour. That's why I much recommend, when you mix the water and flour, you just start doing that with either like a wooden spoon or by hand, and just mix the water and flour first yourself manually until you feel it's kind of compacted together, and only then I put the mixer in action. Otherwise, if you leave this thing, hook, C, or whatever shape it is, to try mixing water and flour, it's going to take a long time.